Hi and welcome to Sounds Heavenly. I'm Steve, and today I'd like to discuss something with you that's probably one of the most divisive speakers that Bang and Olufsen's ever made, hidden under this blanket. As you'll guess from the shape of the blanket, it's one of the smaller models. This is something that no matter who you talk to in the B&O world, they'll have a polarised opinion on this speaker. Even the most fanatical of collectors are equally as likely to hate it as to love it. So I think the best way to introduce this review is with a slice of Marmite toast. My favourite and a peculiarly British spread. It's one that's known for being equally hated and loved across Britain. Sorry, very nice. So what's under the cover? Let's have a look. Here we have a Bang & Olufsen BLab 4 speaker, and for those of you who haven't seen it, for size reference, a size 5 match football. Nothing much to it really. Now I must admit, I started out in the hating camp with those speakers back in about 2004, 2005 I think, when it was first launched. I went to a friend's wedding on the other side of the country, popped into the local B&O store as I always do, and was surprised to see these little speakers. And I think the big problem was the salesman pitched them to me as the new answer to hi-fi. I didn't need my 5-foot tall Penta speakers anymore in the living room. These tiny little babies would do the same thing and better. And within 5 minutes of listening, I left very disillusioned. And that, to be honest, put me off of B&O for a little while. However, later on, I had a friend who desperately wanted to have my BOVox CX100 speakers. Again, tiny little bookshelf speakers, but an older style. I reluctantly took the BLab 4 that you can see there, and it's matching one for the pair, in exchange, and was blown away by them. So why the change? Well, first of all, I think it's best if we take a little look at the speaker. As you can see, less than a foot high. Underneath the panel at the front, which just pops off. These are interchangeable and come in a huge range of colours. A tweeter and a tiny little 4-inch mid-bass driver. And it's that mid-bass driver and the small size that causes the issues. Now these are lovely little speakers when in their right environment. And the reason I think I grew to love these is the fact that I put them in the master bedroom at home. I don't want to be woken up by thunderous bass. My B&O system works as an alarm clock for me through these speakers, and I get a nice gentle, warm, typically B&O tone, but at a moderate, soft volume, and it's perfect. It's great for a little bit of light music listening of an evening, and to be honest, would work equally well in a small office space if you have a home study or office and you don't want to wake the children in the next room when you work in the evening. In those environments, these are wonderful little speakers. However, the reason that I think a lot of people malign them unfairly is that B&O shouldn't have pitched them as a hi-fi speaker. They are a small, well-designed, stylish speaker, but for very specific applications. And I'll show you just a little technical test to give you an idea of why they weren't suitable as hi-fi speakers. And what we have here is a sound pressure level meter. As I speak, that's changing constantly with the number of decibels for the sound pressure level of my voice. So the louder I speak, the higher the number, and the background noise of the room and birds singing outside is probably about 20 decibels. So I have a tone generator on my phone connected to the speaker, and I can play on demand a tone of any pitch, which will always be at the same volume sent from the phone. I can vary the pitch. So we have around about 73 hertz decibels of sound pressure level at 280 hertz. And then if you watch what happens as we lower the tone of only of the pitch of the sound, not of the talk. Fairly equal as we go down. Slight peak up to about 75 decibels. We're now at 220 hertz, so not far off the pitch of my voice speaking, just below 70 decibels. As we come below 200 hertz, there's a little bit of a dip, so we're getting slightly less output from the speaker. 59 decibels now. So now at 170 hertz they're falling away. We're now 71 decibels at 140 hertz. But now as we drop to 120 hertz, we're right down to 60 decibels. So those speakers are producing far less sound at lower frequencies. And as we go even further down, 80 hertz, we're holding steady at about 60 decibels until we get to 55 hertz. Again, holding steady, but down to 50 hertz, and they drop right away to about 52 decibels. So at that point, they're not really producing any real bass. Now the reason for that is to give you an indication of what these speakers can and can't do. If you like electronic dance music at high volumes, then in my very worst Obi-Wan Kenobi, these are not the speakers you're looking for. Move along now. But if you want to use a small, gentle tone for background music, these are beautiful speakers. And also there's another application for them that can work particularly well. Now if you have a home cinema system with an AV receiver, the standard for THX sound reproduction is to have a crossover to the subwoofer at 120 Hz. So that's quite high compared to how BLab 2 normally works. But what that will allow you to do is use 5, 7, 9 or 11 of those speakers with a good subwoofer, say BLab 19, or for example something like a Rel or Miller and Kreisel sub with the BLab 4s, and that way you have a very subtle, unintrusive visually sound system that will actually give you really great dynamic performance. You're taking away from these little speakers the deep bass they can't handle and giving it to a subwoofer that's dedicated for the job. In that application, they really shine. So, for these reasons, I've really grown to quite love these little speakers. When used within their comfort zone, I think they are actually a genuine B&O product. So, in terms of connectivity, it's worth mentioning there are two versions of BLab 4. Outwardly, they're identical. But what we'll do, we'll power this one off, unplug it, and I'll show you the differences. Now underneath, we have all the connections. And this is the full PowerLink version of the speaker. So if we can get a little bit of light on this one, you'll see that we have the mains power socket on the right, the 8-pin B&O PowerLink socket in the centre, and then on the left a 3.5mm mini jack style line input socket. Now on the cheaper, when they were launched, PC version of the speaker, the power link socket in the centre was blanked out, and only the mains power socket and the line input socket were present. The aim of that was to sell the cheaper version purely as a computer speaker and not permit it to work with the Bang & Olufsen system. However, don't worry, as a cabling fan, what I've done is come up with some options to let you use either the full PowerLink version of the speaker or the cheaper PC only version with any system, whether that be a Bang & Olufsen system, your computer or phone, or an AV surround system. If you don't know already, this is what I do as my day job. I run soundsheavenly.com. The aim of this website is to provide all the cables, connections and advice you could ever need for use with a B&O system. So what we'll do, there's a page dedicated to the BeoLab 4 speakers, which I'll show you. At soundsheavenly.com, if you hover over the Bang & Olufsen option at the top menu and then come down to speakers, you'll see BeoLab 4 and 4PC. And that will open up a list that will allow you to go through all the options. So if you have the PowerLink version of the speakers, then you can use PowerLink cables to connect them directly to a B&O system. As we scroll down that list, you'll see then that you have the option of PowerLink to BeoLab 4 PC cables. So they are the ones that I mentioned that will allow you to work the cheaper PC only version with a B&O system. Beneath that is the cable that I've been using a moment ago to use my phone into the speakers. That's the same for either version. That's mini jack input to 2 mini jack plugs. So when these speakers are used with a non-B&O product or music source, they will always connect via the 3.5mm line input socket. Next up is a twin phono or twin RCA to twin mini jack cable that will let you connect either type of BeoLab 4 speaker to an AV receiver with pre-outs. So that's if you want to add a subwoofer and use them for surround sound. And then finally, we're onto the RJ45 to PowerLink connections to use them with a brand new B&O music system or TV. So hopefully that gives you a flavour of what can be done with these speakers and a bit of confidence to try them. Much like the wonderfully British Marmite on toast, I have no doubt at all that there'll be equally as many people watching this video who will say they hate the speakers as those who will love them. And in the same way that Marmite divides the British public, I think these speakers have divided B&O enthusiasts. So please join in the debate. What do you think? Are you a lover or a hater? Please let me know. Have you tried them? Have you heard them? How do you use them? What works for you? Or conversely, don't they work for you? Please let me know. And if you want to find out more about connecting B&O speakers, whether it be BeoLab 4s or any of the other models in the range, please come to soundsheavenly.com. Come and visit, and you'll see on the front page there's the option of a contact form, and that will let you send any messages or inquiries straight through to me. I'm always happy to help if you've got any questions. So please, if possible, like and subscribe the video. I'd be very grateful for that. And please join in with comments below. Please let me know what you think of these speakers. Thank you for watching.